Hey, what's going on, guys? Today I'm going to be giving you the 100% correct playoff predictions for this Thursday. We all know playoff promo comes out Thursday, so I'm going to predict most of the stuff for you guys so you can be prepared for players and potential sets. So, I want to tell you guys about a little pattern they had last year. Last year, the first seeds for the playoffs always had the LTD. So, as you can see here, the Ravens last year, who were the first seed, got an LTD. And also for the 49ers, they also got an LTD here too. All of the LTDs gave times 3 chem. The champs gave +1 chem because they all had a playoff theme team down here. Uh, and then I believe the upgradables, which we'll get into in a moment, they all had times 2, I believe. So, and the sets usually come out the first week, and they usually get harder throughout the weeks. So we'll talk about that in a second. So you can see here, the Niners got a Colton McKivitz card. These are usually players who are in need of an upgrade, maybe someone who's kind of playing good. Colton McKivitz got a 91 upgradable. They get upgraded the more they win. So if a team goes from the wild card to the Super Bowl, they'll upgrade each time throughout the playoffs. And it's cheaper to make the set before they get all the way up to their max overall. So if you do the set while the teams are in the wild card and some are on the bye week, that's the cheapest the set's going to be. As the week goes on, the set gets more and more expensive. So in my opinion, I do think you guys should be doing these sets as soon as they come out. If you guys really want to make a playoff theme team, they've had one last year. The playoff theme team was very, very good. So I recommend getting right into it as soon as they drop. There's also a pattern that shows with the cards drops. So there'll never be 2 players on the same side of the ball. You can see with the Chiefs, they dropped a Trent McDuffie. And then if you go back to their cards, they dropped a Creed Humphrey first. So you guys can see center is on offense, corner defense. When we go back to the Niners, we have Nick Bosa defense, Colton McKivitz offense. You can see a little pattern here. I'll show you like 2 more. We have Ravens, Zay Flowers offense, and they have the Jadeveon Clowney defense. That's another one. And then for the Eagles, they have this Darius Slay, and they have the Jason Kelsey. So you guys can see the pattern. They never go back and forth. There is a pattern with how many champions are on offense and how many champions are on defense. So my predictions are going based off that. I believe it's 5 defensive champs on the NFC and 2 offensive champs, and then 5 offensive champs on the AFC, and then 2 defensive ones. A little confusing, but there was a pattern. I wanted to stick by it, saying EA could do the same exact thing. But we're going to go into these sets real quick, and we'll get back to my predictions. Okay, so over here on Madden 24, now 25, 24 is where they have the sets. So as you can see, 94 overall playoff contenders. You obviously can't make LTDs. We're currently at an overall where 94 champs are the thing. So this, I'm assuming, is going to be the exact way to make the set again. 391s. Oh no, this is what I think. I think it might be, if it's 5 random 91s, I would say go invest in 91s right now. But if it's, I believe it's going to be 3, 4 playoff 91s, and then 2 regular 91s. So if you guys want to prepare for it that way, you can. Getting 91s won't hurt you. Having them in your binder, wait until Wednesday, wait until Thursday when these cards are revealed. But this is the set for the champs. I do think it's not going to be all 5. It might be like 2 playoff 91s and the rest regular 91s. But this is the 94 champ set. Now moving into the upgradable set. This is after every single week of the playoffs has been done. Obviously last year's Super Bowl already happened. So this is the maximum it'll be. As you can see, it does get really expensive, saying these are all playoff players here. You can see all the way down here, all playoff players. It'd probably cost you a bit just to even get one card, and saying there's 14 of them, you probably want to do this as soon as possible because what is that? 388s, a ton of 85s, and a couple 82s. That's pretty expensive for a card that you're probably going to be using for a chem. You know what I mean? But these are the sets. You can't really prepare for that one, saying it showed all playoff ones, saying they do it the same. I believe they would for that one. But the 94 champion one, I would predict 2 playoff 91s, 3 regular cards, 3 playoff 91s, and some regular ones. So having 91s in your binder won't hurt you. So we all know about the current teams in the playoffs. We all know the playoff seeding. You can check it out. You search up NFL playoff seeding or whatever. I know, pull up who's first seed, who's second, if you guys don't know. But that matters for LTDs. Obviously, I said before, first seed is the person who gets the LTDs. So this year it would be Chiefs, Lions getting the LTDs. And I believe each team into the drop, like I said earlier, they will get a champ and an upgradable card. And if you're a first seed, you'll get an LTD upgradable card. So for the Chiefs, I believe Xavier Worthy is going to be the LTD. Gotta have a big name in there. Gotta have pull people in to buy. And I believe the upgradable card is Justin Reed. I do think he's due for an upgrade, but I don't know if he's due for a champ overall upgrade. I do believe Justin Reed is the guy. Now, going over to the NFC, we have the Lions, right? The Lions, I believe they want a big name. I think Brian Branch will be that big name for an LTD. And then for the upgradable, we're going to do Sam Laporta. I think his last card was, I believe, an 85. So I think he's due for upgrade, and an upgradable card definitely is worth it. Now we're going to go down the rest of the NFC, and we'll go back to the AFC, and we'll tell you the rest of the predictions. For the Eagles, I have the Eagles 94 overall champion being Quinyon Mitchell. He doesn't even have a card in Madden yet. And for the upgradable, I believe it's Devontae Smith. Devontae Smith only has an 81 overall card. He's deserving of some sort of upgrade. Even if it's not a champ, I think he needs one. Moving on to the Packers. The Packers have a bunch of upgrades some places. Like Jair Alexander has a card. Christian Watson got his card. Jaden Reed got his card. And like that kind of cancels out a bunch of the players. But one thing I did think about is I do believe Jordan Love will be the champ for the Packers once again. Jordan Love's last card was an 88. I think he's due. He did play good this season. He has battled injuries, but Jordan Love as the champ, it seems kind of perfect. And then for the upgradable is going to be Xavier McKinney. We all know Xavier McKinney has probably like 7-8 picks on the season, and he's definitely deserving of an upgrade. Moving on to the Commanders. This one was probably the hardest one to do, but we're going to say either Jonathan Allen or Daron Payne champ. They're both deserving of an upgrade. I'll probably lean towards Jonathan Allen being the champ. And then for the upgradable, we're just going to say Zacchaeus. I know there's probably Brian Robinson, but I don't believe he's going to get one. I can see EA use Jaden Daniels, honestly, but they would use Jaden Daniels as a champ. How the patterns worked out, Commanders had to be a defensive champ. So Jonathan Allen as a champ, and I don't know how to say his first name, but we will say Zacchaeus. Zacchaeus, he's a receiver for the Commanders. He cooked in their past 2 games. Zacchaeus, he'll be the upgradable. Moving on to the Rams, I think the Rams are simple. I think the champ's going to be Cooper Kupp. I don't remember the last time he got a card. He was like an 85 or something like that. And for the upgradable, it's going to be Braden Fisk. He's in the defensive rookie of the year conversation. He needs an upgrade. The last card he got, I believe, was his 88 rookie premier card, I think. That was his only card, I think. So he's deserving an upgrade. We're going to move on to the Vikings here. We have Andrew Van Ginkel champ. He's been playing very good this season. Always very underrated. I think Andrew Van Ginkel will be the champ. And the upgradable will be Christian Darrisaw. He's a very good card. I can see Aaron Jones there too. That is a very good possibility for the upgradable. Now moving on to the Bucks, the final team in the NFC. I think the champ's going to be Antoine Winfield Jr. The last card he had was in October. He's due for an upgrade. He's been playing good, 94 overall. Champ is definitely deserving. And I do believe the upgradable card would be a Cade Otton. I could see a Chris Godwin get thrown in there, but I will say Antoine Winfield Champ, Cade Otton upgrade. And now let's move back over to the AFC. We have the Bills. I believe the champ will be Greg Rousseau, defensive end. The Bills need some love, and I think Greg Rousseau is going to be their champ. And for their upgradable will be Dalton Kincaid. That's the two I believe for the Bills. For the Ravens, this was a pretty difficult one to find an offensive player who needed an upgrade, but then he stood out to me. I think Roquan Smith will be the champ. Could be Marlon Humphrey, but I do think Roquan Smith's more deserving. I also think for the upgradable, it's going to be Mark Andrews. Mark Andrews' last half of the season was really good. It makes you think back to the old Mark Andrews seasons he's had. I know he started the year rough, but coming back later in the season and cooking, that's all that matters. So we're going to move on to the Texans here. I think the champ is going to be Nico Collins. Same situation as Antoine Winfield. His last card was in October, his last upgrade. And I think the upgradable card will be Derek Stingley. He's playing like a top 5, top 10 corner right now. He's definitely deserving of a card. And then let's move on to the Chargers. For the champs, I have J.K. Dobbins. Can see it be Rashawn Slater, but the upgradable will be Alani Gilman. He always seems to get cards, and then that defense they currently have, it seems like he's the only one without an upgrade. Moving on to the Steelers, I have Pat Freiermuth as the champ. He's definitely deserving of a card. I don't honestly remember his last card he got this year. Definitely deserving. It seems like they use him as a safety net sometimes in IRL. And I have Alex Highsmith as the upgradable. And then for Broncos, this one was hard. I said Zach Seiler for the upgradable, and then for the champ was either Marvin Mims, because he had some crazy good games at the end of the season, and Quinn Miners. He's a pretty good offensive guard. Those two are both deserving an upgrade. So I can see Marvin Mims or Quinn Miners for the champ, and Zach Seiler as the upgrade for the Broncos. But I'm hoping this video helps you get ready for playoffs. Hopefully gets your brain thinking to see if you can think of any other names that could be in the possibility of it. But if you guys enjoyed, like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.